These old handwritten directions. They were about 20 years old from this now deceased voodoo practitioner that used to work on Beale Street. So he had this old map and we followed it, and it was really the only chance we had to do it. It was New Year's Eve. That was the only time everyone on the crew could get down there. The Sun Studio engineers were down there with us, and we went and followed these instructions, and eventually it was just pitch black. It was actually the darkest night of the month, and it was just freezing cold, you know, Mississippi in the middle of the winter. And so after the recording, you know, it was just magic recording out there, and fireworks actually erupted after the first song I played. It just struck midnight, and magical experience. But, you know, when we were mixing the album, we thought, okay, we're here in Memphis, let's track down this voodoo practitioner, and well, at least his next of kin since he's deceased, and let's ask him about this map that we found. And so we actually did. We tracked down the grandson of the person who wrote the map, and he told us this story, you know, and the map, you go down this road, you take a left, you find this old plantation, you take a right, you go over these railroad tracks, there's this cemetery on your left, and this crossroads right here. And he told us this story right here about those crossroads and why those were actually the real crossroads. So he said if you were a musician back in the day and you wanted to go play at those juke joints in Mississippi, you couldn't just get in your Cadillac and drive down there, because you probably didn't have a Cadillac if you were a musician back then. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to jump on one of those Mississippi River boats, you know, those boats that were running up and down the Mississippi River, carrying cargo and supplies to those cotton plantations down there. So you'd have to sneak onto one of those boats if you were slick enough. You know, you'd have to be really confident, you'd have to be really slick, you'd have to talk your way on there or sneak your way on there. You'd float down that riverboat and you'd get off as they were loading those trucks, and loading those trains, I mean, to go down to that plantation where those crossroads are. So you'd have to get off of that boat, sneak off, be really slick, you know, be really confident, have your guitar with you maybe, and you see that cargo train and you just sneak on that cargo train. So you're sitting there on that cargo train. Just imagine you're right there right now. Try not to be caught. You found this good little hiding spot. You got your guitar with you, and you hear that train start rolling. You hear it start chugging. As that train starts picking up a little speed, you start feeling confident, and you think, you know, I kind of like this rhythm. I think I'm going to pick up my guitar and I'm going to try to play along with this nice driving rhythm of this train right here. So you pick your guitar up and just start having a little fun. Hear that whistle blow as it rolls out of the station. thinking, wait a second, somehow I gotta get off of this sucker. And you know from the stories of your buddies who have done this before, you do not want to get off of this train at the station because there's people looking for stowaways on that train, and they'll go and they'll put you in jail, put you on that chain gang, or worse if they find you there. But luckily, you heard those stories that right before that station, right before you get down there, there's a real sharp curve in that railroad track, and that train's got to slow way down to make that curve. And that is your one and only opportunity to get off of this train. And you think, oh, thank God, it's slowing down. I think that curve is coming up now. And you know that when you get off of that curve, you gotta jump. There's no easy way off of that train. But if you jump at the right spot, not too far from there is this nice old crossroads. Where you can throw your thumb up, maybe you can catch a ride into town to those juke joints, start making a name for yourself. So that train keeps slowing down and you start thinking, okay, I better get ready. You throw your guitar in its case, you hold on to your hat, you walk up to the edge of that railroad car, you look over, right as it makes that curve, you jump. You hear that train roll off into the distance. You grab your guitar off the ground, you pick up your hat. Train goes off a little further. Walk over to those crossroads, you throw your thumb up in the air. Start waiting for a ride, and you hear that train roll into the station right there at the plantation, right around the corner. Enough people start doing this, word gets around this is the best way to get to those juke joints. People start wondering why all these amazing musicians are throwing their thumbs up down at that crossroads, and people start telling stories. Thank you.